Hey guys, I just wanted to hop on and share something with you that these glasses are getting in the way. Share something with you. It's something I'm pondering. And I'm not saying I have the answer, but I think there's something to this. And I would like to know if maybe you thought the same thing. So I have this writer, coach, that I really love. Everything he puts out. I love what he writes. But he said something, and I'm like, I'm not sure that's true. I don't know if I agree with that. Have you ever had that happen to you? Somebody that you really love, know, like, trust, and all of a sudden you read something that they've written or that they're declaring or that they're teaching, and you go, I'm not sure that I agree with this. And what he said was this. He said, all relationships are transactional. I don't know why. I mean, something inside of me went, I don't think so. I don't think every relationship is transactional. When we say transactional, meaning I scratch your back and you scratch my back. I serve you, then you serve me. I don't think it's tit for tat all the time. I don't think it's that way. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, this would be for those of us who have been redeemed. We know what it is to have encountered a living, holy God who did something that was so not transactional. He got on a cross and he died for every one of my sins. No way, and you know what? I can ever pay him back. Can't earn it, can't pay him back. He set the standard of what true love looks like. And it's not transactional there. Now, because I've been redeemed, I think there are going to be moments in life that he's going to say, I want you to do this. And it's not going to make sense to the world. It may not even make sense to people in business with you, but this is what I want you to do. I want you to pour into so-and-so. And you may never see it back. You may never see it till the other side of heaven. In this life, it ain't transactional, what I'm asking you to do. I think about my own relationship with my husband. God forbid it'd be like, I do this if you'll do that. I'll scratch your back and you scratch my back. No, 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 no. Does that happen? Yes. But for the most part, there are so many times that he's going to ask me to do something sacrificial that has nothing to do with transactional, nothing in return, simply because Christ modeled for me on the cross and says, sometimes I'm going to ask you to love when there's no transaction in return. I don't know. I've just been pondering this. And I think if we are to allow that thought to invade our entire world, we might miss something. We might miss the most beautiful of opportunities to love like Jesus. You know, Timothy Keller in his book, Every Good Endeavor, shared this beautiful example. And maybe it's why it struck a chord with me when this person that I know, like, and trust, love his coaching, said that. Because previously, some of you may not know this, but I did write a book, and it's called Sacred Work in Secular Places. And it's based off of bringing the sacred into the secular, simply to love people because they're made in his image. So in research, I studied Timothy Keller's book, Every Good Endeavor. And he shares this beautiful story where this high, top of the chain, all the way up at the top professional in this big New York company made a decision to hire someone. And he hired this woman, and right out of the chute, first week there, she makes a major mistake. I mean, major. And this gentleman said to himself, I hired her. I believe in her. Life is messy. People are flawed. But I'm going to take the hit for her because I believe in her. And I'm going to continue to invest in her future. I believe in this person. So he took the heat. He took responsibility. And it cost him. He lost esteem in the eyes of his fellow colleagues. He lost people's belief in him, that those superiors above him. But he did it. And he stood his ground. And the person that he did this for knew what had happened. And for months, she kept hounding him. She kept saying, why? Why did you do that for me? Why would you risk everything for me? And finally, he couldn't take her hounding anymore. And he said, look, let me just tell you this. I am a Christian. And Christ got on a cross for me and did something for me that I couldn't earn, didn't deserve, can never pay back. And every now and then, my position affords me that opportunity to do the same for others. I've never forgotten that lesson. So when you hear things and a red flag kind of goes up, or you go, not really sure about that, I want you to trace its roots back to why and just see if you don't see a biblical connection. What God does for us, his relationship with us will never be transactional. And I believe that because we've been redeemed, we too are going to be called from time to time to have relationships that are not transactional. Now, I get that in business, every day we're going to have transactional relationships. I do this and you do that. That's just the way we do business. You sign this contract and I'll deliver this. But even in the midst of that, God forbid that we should cease to listen to the nudge of the Holy Spirit when he asks us to do something that there is no guarantee. I'm going to take a chance on that person and there's no guarantee because I've been nudged by the Spirit to do something that in the world's eyes might never make sense. I pray you never lose that willingness to go against the flow and do things that might make you look silly in the eyes of somebody else. Can you imagine what the people in Noah's day thought when he's building an ark and it's never even rained and he's declaring that something's coming and they're all laughing at him? He looked silly in their eyes. But because he believed and took action on what God asked him to do, he and his household were saved, and in essence, humanity was saved. I think we're all called at times to have an obedient heart, even when it makes no sense to others. I don't know. I just don't want to be one of those kind of persons that the only relationships I have are transactional. I want something more than that. What about you? So what do you think about that? Is every single relationship in your life transactional? If you do this, they'll do that, and you'll do this, and they'll do this. I hope not. I think about our children sometimes. Some of us have wayward children. I think about that father, that prodigal son who went ahead and gave him his inheritance, and then the son blows it. The son has no way of earning his way back, has nothing left to offer. But the father is waiting for him every day. The father is waiting for that son to come back. And he's looking, I can just imagine that father on that front porch looking for that son to return that will never be able to offer a transactional relationship. And he calls for the fatted calf and the purple robe and I don't know if it was purple, but he calls for the robe and the ring to be put on his hand. I don't know. I just think these things, it may be a mystery, but I think they think of things, they hint of things that are otherly, that are beyond this world. And I can't get that Timothy Keller story out of my mind. I think we're all called to do things that will never have a guarantee. And we just do it because he said so. Had to hop on, share my little ponderings that I've had today. Would love to know what you think about this. And if you think all relationships are transactional. And if you don't agree with that, and you say, no, Joan, I agree with you, I want you to share your stories with me of when might God have called you to do something for someone that there was nothing transactional about the relationship. I've really been pondering this, and I just think we're called to more. Made in the image of God. We're supposed to reflect that to the world. And if the one who loves me most got on a cross and died for me, and it's not transactional, there's nothing I can ever do to pay him back. Nothing, not a fraction can I do. think we're supposed to demonstrate that and be listening for when God is asking us to step out of the ordinary life of daily transactional things and into something that is supernatural. I want that to pervade in all that I do in life. I want it to come in and be a part of all that I do. Anyway, that's it. I know it's not Monday, it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday. And I'm coming on sharing another thought in this 52-week walk with God. So week 8, here I am sharing another thing that I'm pondering. Would love to know your thoughts. That's it. Got to run. But here's what I want you to know. I love you. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.